today. He's saying, you know, look, anything can happen, but it was so comfortable. Like Hakeem said, always so calm, collected, and they're like, yeah, well, let's just see. It's a few seconds until we get on the map. It'll be fine. So we'll have to see what they have. Leviathan will start on an attack here. 7-1 is their record right now, looking like one of the best teams in the Americas. And they are going to start off aggressive towards this A Rubble. Van's making a lot of noise here at door to start.
But Tui's is the one that makes the first noise. Changing into the role, back to the duelist, and gets the first headshot onto Tex. Meanwhile, though, Leviathan has also come out with a different composition. Aspas on this Neon, on Lotus, and by losing on that first blood, they have to reassess how they want to work the map, especially now that Les has flanked from behind.
We'll have to see how Tui's continues on the raise. Starting off like that to get the showstoppers going is going to be a very big boon for the side of Loud. And as well, this push here by Les, just so much information being relayed over to the team. Loud don't even have to move that much, and they've already taken control of the tree area anyways.
Just by doing that fault line and keeping King inserted at this spot, it really rotates Loud around and weaken up the defenses for a bit. But now the trip gets broken. You have Loud getting ready to set up here for the crossfire, and Kawazima is trying to get contact. Aspas is down to 34. Now Aftershock, he avoids it for now. As he pushed through though, Tui scores that second on the board, but Calm answers right back here at the doorstep. Pankata trying to assist and avenge his teammates, but the advantage goes back to Leviathan.
Still the 3v2. Chip damage everywhere right now, Vansili. Nobody looking good for this fight.
Did get some information from that hunt,
10 seconds left.
but too little too late. Now only one stands, and it's Tui's to fall, and Calm scoring 3 into the round allows Leviathan to pick up the pistol.
Really nice job by Leviathan to play within the utility windows. I mean, look at how much utility you have to deal with that in that Loud composition. You got the fade, you got the breach, and you got so much more that's going to be coming into the site. So they slowly creep up. Leviathan takes a bit more space, and in a moment it looked like Aspas was almost left out to dry over by Stairs connector, but the team was still ready to follow through. They're just waiting for that next window, and a lot of patience paid off there for the Leviathan. We'll see how Loud reacts as we get into this second round.
Reacting with 3 players on the C-mount camera to even spot it up here if they could play aggro if they want, but it's a slide through from Aspas, scoring first. Les though avenges his teammates, and that's the camera that gets broken, but they still have an opportunity to pinch here with Kawadzin inserted right at the revolving door. They could also be ready for this fault line too if there's more pressure coming out from Leviathan towards the C-Mound. There he comes. Paranoia first. Haunt towards the back, gets the ping on the defenders. Leviathan is able to just overtake the C side and stronghold it. And the last 2 players here for Kawadzin and Sadat, less they were trying to flank behind, but too little too late.
Spike plant should be able to clean up these last 2, and Leviathan strat towards A, strat towards C. Playing behind each other well, collecting the kills, being able to close out these last few as the ultimates start to come online. Mazzino quite a handful away. Let's see where Aspas is after going down and still getting these fights himself too. So that feels good for Lev. They come out, they start strong. We'll just have to see what Loud has once they start getting guns here and they can get themselves back into the play.
This is definitely going to have to be an important call now for Sadak on top of that, having to reassess and readjust every single time because they're not used to this Leviathan composition here on Lotus with this Neon coming out. Mazzino on this breach.
Yeah.
Mazzino who's been on fire last week against EG as this breach and continues here to set up Aspas in round number 3. Bonus round now coming out for Leviathan.
All right, so insta fault line. You can see it already counting down there for Sadak, seeing how they're trying to use this. We talked about those windows Leviathan would be looking for. And this, I feel like, sets up Loud a little bit better for that second, that re-hit that Leviathan would want to look for if they're using fault line right away from Sadak. So easy for Loud to keep their comfort positions here in that default defense. They did have 2 over towards C, which has been rotated out here. So now Pankata is left alone to his own devices to try and stall, as he's going to need some help here in a second.
That was his last smoke too, to try to cover the front C side. Still has Paranoia, but wants to keep it for the retake for Loud inside the C side as Leviathan overtakes it. They're taking their time though and trying to fight towards the spawn. There's that first contact. Aspas scoring first once again. Counter Paranoia. Couldn't wait for his teammates, just tries to stay alive, and that's wasted utility for Loud's attempt for the retake.
Spike planted.
Trying to throw so much util in, but nobody's left the site yet.
Even Sadak didn't have a chance here to set up a flash. Caught out in the open. That might force the hand here of Loud to potentially save their weapons, but they're kind of caught out in the open for now. Even pushing the cause is Calm pushing into the waterfall. You definitely could see it here. Pinching the last two members of Loud. Penkata just swings out and Calm's just still once again trying to cut the rotation.
This round
will definitely go for Leviathan, but Calm
so smart.
Smart enough for that one kill. And wasting enough time for Mazzino to chase after it. And no weapons will be saved for Loud for the conversion of the bonus from Leviathan.
I mean, as we just fade out of this, you look at the mini-map, and there's 2 trips still behind Leviathan on mid and A. I was like, how is everybody in sight? Why aren't they even checking flank? And they don't have to. They have all the info they need ahead of them. Looking at waterfall, looking at spawn. Osbos pushing as fast as he can into spawn, not even letting Loud breathe on the defensive side this round. And the last kills in spawn as they were chased down, blood in the water. This is from Leviathan is planned and calculated so well in the first 3 rounds there to get themselves this lead. We do see the shotgun coming out from Cowanzine. They're trying to set up some close range attacks here with 3 at C.
Just a play that Loud even did against EG on this map, just trying to get the fault line so that the Neon could push forward at the bound and hopefully catch some players off guard. As Loud, in the eco that they had, or that they have currently, had 3 players getting ready to fight back towards the C mound. That keeps 2 players anchored up now as Leviathan's working back towards the C site.
And there's these trips again that were there last round. This allows Leviathan to keep pushing forward, not even have to leave a flank, which means you have more on the swing, more to face your opponent. And yeah, so comfortably in this position now, but they're not using the lurker just yet. They're all 5 to a site, leaving the rounds to come. Ooh. Possibly have that lurk, but it's not gonna matter.
2 kills with the Bucky, and that forces the Rolling Thunder out. Both of them hit towards the back of the side are Loud players. Now concussed, trying to stay alive. Sadoc's able to get one before even the trips over Mazzino, and Loud answers with the Thrifty.
The Bucky from Cowanzine comes up with 2 immediately, holding the sight down for the rest of the squad to come in. We've seen Penkata's share of shots already as he comes back into stage 2, back into VCT Americas, and a little bit of that peppered in from both of those players picks up a very, very nice low buy round here that Lev was not expecting. Everything has been working so clean for Leviathan, so I think they may even let their guard down a little bit on that round. Just enough for Loud to sneak in. Cowanzine. Nightfall there. Less ultimate as well. Calm is going to be able to answer back here. Sending out some nightmares on round 5 if they want. So this is now where they start to insert the lurk, right? Tex is away from the team. They're not playing a ball of 5 anymore on the side of Lev, but they're still working towards A. What they've been doing for the first few rounds here to keep Loud guessing.
That Thrifty you just got from Loud adds a little bit of hope here for them to keep the game close. Upgraded with so many weapons. Economy is good so far, but Leviathan still has their own buy as they converted the bonus round in round number 3. So an important gun round for both of these teams. Nightfall activated to start on the attack as Leviathan seems committed to hit towards his B site. Tex gets one through the smoke, and that's the star player of Cowanzine dropping first.
All right, so a new strat in the book that they haven't used at least this Loud scene this game.
With that kill, there's no Nightfall to answer back from the defending side. Tex now fighting back towards the revolving door, pushing Penkata away, forced to reopen that sliding door, and actually both Loud players on the extremities of the B side winning their own battles. Advantage back in favor of the defensive side. Forcing now Leviathan to push out towards the spawn. King even wins the fight towards Hobbit, as now Penkata, the second one to come through, and as they flood win 1 by 1, the fault line got avoided by Mazzino, but Les was just greeting him on the other side. And Loud now converts 2 rounds in a row right off the Thrifty on this previous round.
Looked like it was going to get very scary there for a second, but yeah, Loud, they play the retake, I think, just without needing everything that they would have on a composition they have full protocol on. I'm kind of looking at 2Es, right? The raise has been going down. They're not getting that util, so they're just back to kind of, all right, put up a smoke, make sure this angle, what are you peeking, where's your paranoia, hit a fault line, dodge a fault line. They're kind of just going down to the basics here to get these rounds back because it does not look like it's super, super clean, but the shots are hitting, and that's why we're seeing Loud come back through right now. That was a defuse, another round. They're going to put Lev down on a low buy here with a Hero King rifle. Few ultimates there to be used on both sides as This is now a lot different from LEV to spread the map. They push up A.
And that's why you have King on his Vandal, because Aspas has the overdrive. So they're faking this B side. They're even pushing across, and they're about to pinch against Pankata. Looking back towards the front, he's still able to take one before he falls. A great start for Loud, just to delay for a bit and give a chance here for Loud to rotate back. And there's that flank from the back.
Oh my gosh!
The adjustment on the second one onto Kawatsin opens up the C site, but looks like Leviathan wants to pump back towards B. This is where Sadak is waiting. There's that first, there's that second one as he gets blinded and falls back to even the situation and gives a chance for Loud to fight.
These are some hot shots, man. What the hell was that from Tex? Then the answer from Sadak under pressure of everybody rushing the front side of B. Everyone on their toes now here for round 6. This is going to be a big swing in the economy.
Spike planted.
If anybody can grab it and start to push down with these ultimates we have coming up too, I think we're going to get a swing in the whole game.
And zero utility for Leviathan. Unless open up the door, you know he's going to be good for that fight. And as you look on the other end, Tex pinned inside that side, full util, not even use as Sadak sneak through from Hobbit door and allows here Loud to tie the game 3-3 on the defensive side.
All right, so Loud are stacked with cash. This should be a buy. One more time here from LEV that Loud should be able to go for the throat on the defensive side and break it and start to take the lead. But we'll have to see. The teams that they have answered so well at this combination Leviathan's been throwing. That time it was kind of 3 towards B with a few towards the C side. LEV love to play this open the door game at certain times and try to figure out what they can do. Loud also plays the mound to start, as Leviathan looks like they want the same there. The trips go back to the same setup though for Leviathan. They knew that was working for them, where they could just focus forward and not have to worry about someone that's pushing, someone that's getting info from Loud on an extremity.
And for Leviathan, you definitely could see here, they're kind of going back to the default protocols of working Lotus. A 4-1 split to kick things off, trying to create some noise, but actually not really inserting text towards the A side. He's actually trying to work up towards the middle, where Loud still looks pretty decent on these positions. 2-2-1 set up on the defensive side, and you have the line of sight on Tui's with the operators, so they could play this 2-2-1 comfortably.
God, with how fast Sadak has gone from tree to the left side, it's like he's still playing Neon. Like back and forth on this map to try and get the fault line or the flash points in the right spot to deny the play. A little bit of love towards A Rubble. Just a bit of fake here. But there's a touch from LEV almost on every part of the map right now, as they still know C mound is hit. Looks like they're going to play the door game again. And they are going to the strong site. Sadak has called this so well.
With so many ultimates as well for Loud to deny the first wave of utility coming in from Leviathan towards this C site. And it starts with the Rolling Thunder. That stops everybody in their tracks. They have to open the door. But Kawatsin even gets one through the smoke. And that's Aspas. Duelist down for Leviathan. Zeno, though, is able to walk through and get his own kill back onto Kawatsin, even things up on a 4v4, but there's only 18 seconds left. So now Leviathan have to commit towards the C side. There's that haunt to come through. It does get a ping once again, so nobody's breaking it. An opportunity now for Leviathan to turn it around, but Les is still holding his ground inside C. There's a 1-for-1, but there's Pankata getting 2 right outside the smoke. There's no time left, and Loud will take the lead now on this first map.
What a scattered round, back and forth, and then nobody's shooting the haunt? You shoot it. Oh, you're gonna shoot it? I'm gonna shoot it? That cannot happen at this level. You have to have the communication there. You can't just be haunted. Simple abilities coming through, absolutely thwarting the LEV hold on the site, and allowed so confident on the play. They took down a bunch of members of LEV on the entry, then the chip damage. I don't think they were feeling the pressure too much there. The fans are loving that, and they said that's the round that was gonna really hurt. LEV scraped together one more with low buy armor, zeros in the pocket there.
Now we're juggling the operator too, this time in the hands of Pankata. Knowing here that you have no more of that showstopper from Tui from a couple of rounds ago, they probably want to leverage him a bit to take control of the defensive side of Loud if they want to play this more aggressively. You see them working as a death ball, both initiators with Tui's trying to re-clear towards B.
It's going to be quiet once they get in there. Honestly, that might be even more scary to not know where the members of Loud are coming from.
Sadak, though, gets the wall bang. Now we're exchanging blows towards the C side with the spike down out in the open. Haunt thrown in, List breaks it, but that gives the Yodio Q. Tex and Com, the last two players remaining here on the C side for Leviathan. At least they have map control, but they want to work together to smother Les. There's that first peek, and there's that second one. Both denied by Les with incredible anchor play.
The anchor play and the shots right now are so good for Loud, and I say that because they almost look disjointed in the way they're taking these fights. And we saw Tui's take a fight with Sadak, and one was reloading as they backed up. They're still hitting it. They're still able to cover each other. So Mazzino takes out that first one, and then we see here the reload, and Tui's is standing there. He goes down. You'd think that would be a poor trade, but no, they're there to cover. Doesn't matter what they're facing. Loud squeaking these rounds by, and they do get a lead that's going to matter now. Low purchase here for Lev, and Loud is just throwing these shots back as hard as Leviathan wants to bring it.
Hard right now for Leviathan to take map control. A 1-3-1 setup as Tex was trying to find where the aggression was, and it looks like he spotted quite a few on the pressure towards Rubble. But once again, a quick call by Sadak to stack the players back towards B. It becomes a good read for now. Paranoia to slow down Leviathan's attempt to move inside, and he breaks the timing. The wall comes down, and it's free reign for Loud to drop the players coming through. And that spike out in the open and now covered by Loud.
Man, Sadak back on some initiator utility has such a great effect on the game. Just having that mind be able to stall and promote situations for the team is incredible. Leviathan don't even last the first 30 on that round, and Loud's gonna pick one up at B.
It definitely brings back the conversation now of Loud looking at this roster, at this composition, kind of puts them at a best in slot.
Yeah.
Tui's is looking pretty decent here since that piss around, but for everybody else, they are pulling their weight. They're also shooting as we see them as they're comfortable in these roles here for Loud, and it's making very troublesome for Leviathan to get any grasp of their attack side on a Lotus here.
And what we used to hear from Loud is that, you know, everybody play what you're comfortable on, and then Sadak feels like he can fill a role. And at some point, you just gotta be like, no, man, like, somebody's good on this, you're good on this. And it does seem like they're taking a little bit more control towards that. As they push here, we're gonna get a 5v5 almost at Rubble.
They want to fight the stack, and that's a 1-for-1. Both duelists falling down. That's a showstopper also eliminated. Now more ults available, and Com is able to get that pickup onto Sadak as the offshot missed by Penkata. Kautzine out in the open, now covered, and also gets a second one. Oh, ball 4, but King is down to 5 HP. A 1 versus 2 for King. TP's towards the C site.
Gotta be safe. Gets the plant down, just 5 HP.
I could have killed him.
And yeah, and a moment to think about how this could go down. King been in the situation many a time, and he's worn the crown to come out of it too.
Now Cage coming up. There's that first kill, and Penkata just goes in, cannon in the chest, makes that operator bang, and Loud converts once again, another round in their favor.
Man, a string of rounds now for Loud. Feeling very good on their pick here of Lotus. We see Tui's back on the raise, hasn't been since the summer of 2022. And while it's not huge, it is giving Loud that kind of presence they had before. Behind each other with the util. We see these 3Ks coming out, and the confidence that the players have in their positioning now to stay, and not just a one and done, but basically taking out the other team. And Penkata being back on the squad seems like it's vibing too.
Definitely big smiles for him.
Yeah.
For
Look at
Kautzine.
that. Up to 3. All these rounds. These gun rounds after bonus. Loud. Loud.
So Leviathan looks like they really want to answer back right away. Overdrive, but it's not clearing towards the left, but the Prowler will through the wall, and that allows here King, or forces the players to fall back. Should I say Penkata TPing away to safety. Trying to still get the Palpatine hand outside the smoke, and no contact so far, but at least for Leviathan, they'll get the plant.
Just, they can't find any kills right here. Loud's doing such a good job at backing up a bit to absorb, and while they don't have positioning, they'll have some util to get back in. I feel like this one could be Lev's though.
Exactly, especially after losing Kautzine. There's no hack for the retake, but at least that util from Sadak still there. One more flash remaining, and it's a 1-for-1 at least for both of the Cyphers. Advantage still for Leviathan. There's that fault line fighting inside that smoke. And Tech steals that kill away now from Aspas. 4 versus 2. Last 2 players, you mentioned it, Rib. It looks like it's going to be a round for Leviathan, especially after Tuis loses the op. Clock is ticking. Pancata will also lose his weapon as Leviathan finally finds something to fight with here in round 11.
I feel like that they didn't want that operator once it became a site take. It's just slowing them down. They're still going to get another one out, though, because they are rich beyond belief on the side of Loud right now. And you see this open up towards the left side of the map. A great push in. Lev really had to stop the bleeding here and get themselves a few more. The 9-3 never hurts, but a 7-5 looks so much better if they can get these final rounds here. All right. Coenzine ultimate ready. It doesn't look like we're going to get too much more on this round, so that's one of the big ones that we'll see. As Loud actually present themselves to the front side of B for one of the first rounds here with that many players. Slow on the door, too. This is going to be wild.
It's going to contact so many players. And there's Coenzine sliding up the scoreboard. Tex even denied that lurk. Sadak gets that pick, and it's looking good for Loud to close out the map with the flawless ending. Will do so.
Dude. That was disgusting from Loud. And where was this confidence that we saw at the beginning, right? It was a few rounds towards Lev. I think Loud started to read it a little bit, and then they lose the bonus, but then come back with a Thrifty to carry out that many rounds with just a hiccup in the middle to give us this for the last one, a cherry on top for the first half. That was disgusting from Loud to kind of recoup and brush off the cobwebs.
Such great utility coming out from Loud here on the defensive side. A new comp looking good, and we'll see. Definitely here, we've woken up from that fever dream and definitely looking like a Loud roster that looks like that championship roster from the past few years. But there's still a big question mark about those satchels. It'll be answered later on, though, as we do have Leviathan trying to fight aggressively at the beginning towards this C mountain. And as we open this door for Leviathan, they're able to even things up on a 3-3 situation with Tui's low on HP. Only a sheriff in hand. The wide swing out, and Aspas gets that pick, and Leviathan takes the advantage on the pistol.
This lurk coming through from last is crazy. Well, he's all the way in spawn already. And they're going to know. There's like, wait, there's no timing anywhere on the map now. We just have to think every angle is dangerous.
Last player standing.
They have to get him quick.
Yeah. And now the double face. And Aspas gets the headshot onto Pancata, so Leviathan will be able to get their own pistol round here.
Gotta go.
All right. See if they can keep it after the bonus this time. Only one round out of those first 3 was able to come in at 11. They have the weapons to play it strong. In the first round, Leviathan actually comes out really strong towards the door. Like you said, last time we saw Loud play Lotus, it was the Neon, a little different comp, but they were playing that door a lot, so maybe Leviathan's trying to get in that game a little early. As the cam goes out, it's going to be a very slow one from Loud here.
They definitely want to play some range. Tui's invested into a share, so did Les. And they're trying to look for that long-range fight towards that A site where there's only Calm Jiggle peeking first, but there's still a camera up here by Tex. They continue to fight aggressively for Loud. There's an opportunity to get that information and get Calm ready for the flood towards A.
Little delay. Oh, Calm's putting himself in a pretty crazy spot, but this is good info. Aspas has already moved out towards Long C here on Mound, so a lot of what Lev is looking at, they know is true. Trips on B. Looks like Aspas is about to have a party.
There's no fault line coming out, though, from Sadak.
Yeah.
It's on cooldown. It looks like Aspas did have a sixth sense, anticipating a push back from Loud as things stayed quiet on the A side. Falls back, and now the second floor is picked up. Tui's now halfway through, getting the Showstopper online as we're going back towards the A side. So nice little protocols from Loud just to make sure here they put the most chances as possible once they get the rifle rounds in.
At the beginning of this round,
30
they
seconds left.
started Mazzino on the left side towards C. The movement was towards A, so this hold here has been the call for Loud's play the whole time.
It's too good.
Oh my gosh.
Three players there with stay calm just because Aspas, you could trust them solo holding this
Exactly. Trust Aspas. He pushes out, gets more info. Mazzino does not have to rotate back over, and they're ready for the Loud re-hit right away. Patience from the side of Loud, knowing they don't have to move too much on that eco. Lev's doing so good right now at reading that. But only in the first few rounds. It's got to go longer. It's got to go further. We got to see a little bit more here.
And what was that piece of util that allowed Leviathan to push through was that camera once again placed behind that double stack. And
Yeah.
Lev having a little bit in terms of their defensive protocols of how to want to fight back against Loud.
Get that quick
Find you.
relay bolt out C long. Ospas alerts them that that's his position, but he moves quickly. So they're just trying to get in the mind of Loud here as Loud reads the map themselves. I like this patient play and re-hit from Loud. The way that Loud, on Lotus mostly, is they do love to do the fakes. Whether they re-hit a site at 15 seconds, they'll be at C and then they BC. That's B site, not BC. Because they're going in here on the smoke, just slowly playing it.
It's dangerous too, though. That Sadak was the first one trying to peek out with the spike. Now finally, it is satchel across, and the rest of Loud slowly meeting up with the 3 players entering the C site. And it will become, looks like a commit now for Loud to get this plant.
All spawn almost.
Oh, the paranoia miss, though, is a little bit too early. They're trying to get Waterfall on top of that as well and hopefully connect towards the spawn. But now that Leviathan are actually in a forward position in the back of that spawn, they're looking to fight back. The cage comes up. It's a high-low through the smoke. But at least on the other end here, the Cock comes down towards the Waterfall. A nice pincer maneuver for Leviathan to retake this C site. They're also on their bonus round looking to convert it once again. As now Penkata now sits alone on the top of the mound. Spike sort of planted for him here. Not until the smoke comes out. Right in the dome, and a second one there. The 2v1 clutch in favor of Loud as Penkata wins it.
I don't understand how Penkata continuously gets these clutches. I mean, I do, but the situations he's put in, the transfers he has to do with his aim and the crosshair placement is incredible. Every time, it's always some extravagant clutch, not just someone's defusing the spike, I have to shoot them clutch. Penkata has been working miracles since being back on the squad here. They get that Heretics plant high on the spot, it's gonna help kill King, and then Penkata just absolutely closes on that round.
Want to move quickly here. Once again, mount control for Ospas. One-way smoke keeping Loud at bay. And a second smoke already comes out here on the defensive side in front B. Nice haunt being thrown at least, though, on the attack side from Khaledzine, so you can't play as aggressively for Leviathan towards the C entrance.
Slow walk towards A. If Lev can keep the game in this situation where they always have the fade and the breach util to keep getting in the site, their retake should be so good.
And the fault line doesn't allow here Tuis to move in. You saw the relay bolts on top of that, and just from behind the execution behind the box. And Leviathan are just anchoring towards this B site with so many players, a 3-player stack. No chance now for Loud to execute inside this B site. Despite them winning that round, only came in with 2 Vandals and pistols. And now it's Les left alone with the Sheriff against a full roster and the healthy roster of Leviathan. None of them hit by any damage, and to continue to survive with no damage.
Tax is just hanging out at A. They don't even need him. Like you said, a very healthy Leviathan after that round. And yeah, fault line and forward, who's really going to be there, right? Somebody behind the box, that's who. Another quick kill there towards B. And now Leviathan. Have to think about what Loud could do for this one. Penkata's actually down onto a low buy still for this one with the Sheriff. They're going to get a push out. They've been switching out how they've been playing this from the defensive side almost every time. Now it's King in Ospas to go off that left side instead of Mazzino. So really making Loud have to kind of do a little fact-finding missions to see where's the breach playing, where's the fade playing, where's the util coming from in the beginning of each one of these rounds, slowing it down ever so slightly.
Ospas avoiding the fault line, and a Boombot now definitely shows that Leviathan are not afraid to fight once again towards the C control at Mound, so pivoting all of Loud towards this A site, but there hasn't been too much of an early rotation out of Leviathan on the defense. They still have 2 players towards this A site.
And a lot of that util was just used at C, so they're going to have to pressure into the site with contact on this one. Maybe a Paranoia, that Prowler. Oh, okay, they have the combo set. The protocol's ready. Can they get the kills?
Counter Haunt coming out too. That pings the 2 players in the front, but cannot land the shots as Tex, but Calm is still there to at least avenge his teammate for 1 kill. Les continues to be opener, but look at the HP remaining on some of these players so far. Les and Sadak at 5 HP. 2 players left alive for Leviathan, as Loud does have this plant towards the A site, and as they fall back, now things have calmed down just for a bit.
That's the Loud back and forth we were just talking about a few rounds ago. Quite a bit committed to the front to see the fault line, a smoke, a bit of util, and they were already hauling ass over towards the A site.
And Sadok's already ready here with the fault line as soon as that spike gets tapped. Doesn't matter if there's a smoke coming in front of that spike rather. There's that fault line that's gonna stun both players of Leviathan, and Loud are just slowly clumping into this TA site rather. But you definitely do see it here that Leviathan cannot get the defuse, trying to do at least some damage as King gets that pick before he falls. But Loud will get that round.
Armor rebuys will have to come around, but Loud's not going to really worry about that too much. Rosbos comes through with a Vandal for himself. It should be a buy there. Really great push into the site. Seeing the fault line and all the util used over towards C made me wonder how they were going to get in. Then you saw the Paranoia go right through the middle of the site. The Prowler checked the right side, and the Aftershock clear right behind that middle pillar of A. Really clean stuff. Nobody would be able to hide. Loud found all the members of LEV that were trying to be sneaky in sight. Very spread out for a default here, as it looks like an orb grab start for Loud. And pretty big push from LEV here on their buy round to try and stick a fork in something that Loud's doing here. Just put an end to these rounds.
Sierra Les hasn't really activated his camera yet. As he hears Elise utility moving forward, there is that camera that's going to spot King taking control of top rubble. Now pivoting Loud to just aggress towards this C site. It was a weak side, a good call by the IGL Sadak. As it commit now for this plant, at least for the tap, to try to waste that utility. There's that Nightfall coming through and a wall bang from Aspas. That drops that spike. Aftershock at least trying to keep them at bay. As Mazzino's already in. Big flash coming through. They're slide in from Aspas, hit by the Paranoia at the same time. Tex does manage to get out. Slide for another frag. And that was a combo by Leviathan on that hold.
Damn, things are getting real cool right now. Loving these retakes. Leviathan there just said, screw your utility. We're pushing through the site, and we will be there. Even I felt like it was even a little off when we saw the flash go in, and then the wall go up. I was like, all right, so that flash kind of just allows them into the right side of site. And then when we did switch observers, we're just in smokes because there's so much util in sight. And then you see Aspas slide out, and it's like everybody was attached to him by a cord. And you see all the kills start to come in. Just absolute chaos that LEV's trying to create here with this Neon play as the retake.
Basically playing chain together
Yeah.
and making it work for the retake for Leviathan.
Good thing we're not on Abyss. Oh, man. All right, towards mid, a little bit of a B play here from Loud as they try to put a little bit of strength on that B site. You could actually see Sadak was looking over towards A for a fault line if they had less find any fight. So thinking about the whole map still as Loud's getting their first pushes in the touch and go, just to get LEV moving around. But it looks like they're happy to be solid in their starting spots.
Loud has had a hard time here getting their economy right despite these rounds that they're getting in their favor for a bit on their attack side. You can definitely see the best weapon that they have currently in round number 19 is this Guardian in the hands of Les working together with Kawadzine just to try to see if Leviathan really wants to try to push out. And now off the camera that got thrown out and instantly broken here, Loud are just going to continue to be patient and hold towards the spawn.
Loud just as worried about a Bucky. And they're like, they could do the same thing. Waiting for a low buy sneaky play here from LEV. But really, LEV's just wanting to figure out where Loud's coming from. Not too much sneaky stuff is actually set up here. But Loud's still going to run the map. They're not going to leave anything to chance.
It was definitely a combination attempt there from Loud, or Leviathan rather, as he had that C's Aftershock. Now Loud with 10 seconds left, have to move inside the C site. Calm being an anchor at this pillar. Becomes, once again, another stronghold. Thankfully for Loud, they get the plant to get the economy rolling.
Yeah. It is big. Coming in strong, and I think that's a huge one, especially on the lower buy, right? Get a little bit more money across everybody. They weren't able to chip too much armor off, but It's really just about hitting the headshots anyways, right? So let's see what they can do coming into this next round. Khan, 18 and 13.
Try again.
Said he's been feeling like the best he has ever right now. A world champion, man. Feeling like the best. I mean, what, he had like 8 2Ks in the previous series? Just, you know, you get 2, your job is done. You can say, I've done my job that round, and he has been absolutely getting paid for these rounds right now. Position. I feel like Loud can do that too and just capitalize on these next few rounds. That timeout definitely puts something in the mix. We'll see what they have in mind. Like you said, they're going to have to work against the Rolling Thunder, but also have their own here. Does Leviathan go back to taking this A pressure? At least to insert.
Bring them down.
Or make believe that they did, as the rest of the map is worked here by Loud towards C.
Especially when the fast lane came out, the wall out from Aspas, making him think here that they're working towards the rubble. But back to a 2-2-1 setup.
Ooh.
My ult is ready.
So they go for the instant one. Can always get 2s more in the following rounds to come.
Definitely see here they're looking for any of these players on both sides. The first one to make a misstep. Already the fault line's being prepped up by Mazzino. This allows for them to jump spot. Realize now that there's nobody towards the C site.
Yeah.
Pressure will be coming in for Tex.
Is it going to be enough time, though? They're calling the rotation, but they're just one side away right now. They'll be on the heels of Loud for this take. And Loud are trying to take back the economy and take back the flow of the game right here.
And Nightfall confirms now that Tex is playing passively in the back of the A site. These 2 Rolling Thunders on both ends are going to be so important, and it goes out instantly as the spike was left to get planted. Pankata scores first, though, for the side of Loud. Kawazine still tries to get this plant in, and they'll be able to do so now for Loud. Holding back on the outside of the A site. 3 players of Leviathan are already towards that back. Drop it down. Tex again! The drive on 2 players of Loud gets denied. Advantage back here for Leviathan. King trying to find the information as the door gets open here towards this A site. Overdrive, though, denied right away. And there's that last player, finally spotted. It's 2Es. Tests it now as his role as a duelist. The jiggle peek coming out from Com. The white swing from Tex after the tap. Gets 3 in the round, and Leviathan ties the game.
Just played so calm. Such good communication between those 2 as well. Com might have just been able to hold back the player, right? And then the defuse happens from a distance, but no. Teamwork, bring them both out, go for the double face, just get the kill. Both teams, I think, are playing for the for sure strategies right now. Pays off there for the Leviathan again. Another back and forth from Loud. Fans, you keep doing the back and forth. Lev's gonna read it that much better almost every time. Man, the King is just really bringing the guys to the right spot here for the defensive spot as Sadat tries to work around these defensive positionings.
There've been masterclass calls on the defensive side for both of these IGLs. Remember these calls from Sadat with these stacks too. Both teams so comfortable on the defensive side, and once again, a little bit out of the strat book here of Loud as you have 2 players inserted towards the C mount, but this time it's not Aspas because Aspas has the op.
Shadows traveling.
Oh man, King is out there right now. Okay, double smokes go down. Not going to be a problem there at Mound. And you're right, that operator is out and waiting just behind the smokes at C. So how good is it going to be for a retake at A as we start to push back across?
And now a second test, an opportunity for 2Es on this raised roll.
We need to see it.
Showstopper is now out. The satchel in to clear out towards the tree, spotted by the camera. So this will be an easy clear. A least space gain now for Loud to overtake the A side, and Leviathan's just ready to retake.
And that's all it needed to be, right? Getting that pressure, and you have the raise, use the raise's ultimate. They do get it online, and now it's gonna have to be the shots. This is one that Loud was not able to capitalize on last round with the shots from Tex Grab in 3, and they're already in sight, ready to defend.
And a hard retake with the operator in the hands of Aspas, and Pankata's pushed forward at the staircase, head-to-head against Mazzino, and he's gonna be able to get that fight. Advantage once again for Loud. They want to push across the smoke that was thrown on the defensive side. 3 players left alive for Leviathan, swarming back towards the A site as it gets delayed, denied on the defuse from the aftershock of Sadak. The second tap, Kawazine closes the door from behind. King now left alive on a 1 versus 3, once a 1 versus 4. But Loud is able to have a clean post-plant hold.
More so post-plant as well with a breach utility. We haven't really seen them do that too much. It's been used within the round. They haven't been able to stall LEV, and that was a nice job of not fighting LEV, of being able to avoid them as much as they could until that time came when Leviathan was forced into the fight and didn't feel comfortable. I don't think we've really seen that positioning from the side of Loud here in the last few rounds. They've been behind and reactive. Finally in that plant, proactive. Towards A, all 5. And even a switch up from LEV here towards A.
Exactly, Calm came out with an Odin. Did a little bit of a love tap through the wall onto Les, and that's a 1-for-1. The Garetcha comes out. There's that beautiful hot thrown out too on the defensive side to get all of these assists.
Oh, nice shooting from Tex. It's now going to be the 3v2 with the Odin ringing out from Tree, causing even more chaos, less positions to stand in these fights. Man, Loud must be pulling their hair out when they try to run that 5 out of rubble for this round 22. LEV is standing right there taking pictures.
Not afraid of that smoke dissipating. Now Pencada is alone.
Jeez.
Back to another tie game as it continues to go back and forth. An amazing series that we're witnessing so far, and it's just the start between Loud and Leviathan.
And to think we're getting this from the 7-1 and 3-5. On the Americas records right now. A 7-1 Leviathan, 3-5 Loud. A timeout, right? You get them, they get them over your shoulder, throwing pies at the enemy. And yeah, 22-14 Tax. Pencada 17-14 on top for Loud. And the duelists this time are the fodder of the game, but it is exactly what needs to happen.
And they're risking a lot here for Loud. Look at their buys. Stingers, Vandal, and they have nothing left in the round. Trying to close it out right here. And Calm is the one that gets the first and second. Still gets the wall and potentially on that third, but has done enough damage to get Loud to rethink the map control here. As they went for a 4-1 setup, and maybe a lot of it has to fall in the hands of the lurk now of Les.
Easy clear. They know they still have a bit of tree control. And Leviathan goes back to these almost default defensive positions, right? Where they're holding the original angles of the round. Not forward, not putting themselves in danger. LEV sees one.
As you mentioned that, Tex did put himself in danger. B-side open, Mazzino waiting just behind. There's a Nightfall with the fault line. Aftershock into the site. It does connect onto one as Loud are forced to fight inside that side, running through, greeted by Calm once again with the Odin. As Sadak now stands alone, hit by the seas. The paranoia on top of that. The utility continues to be overwhelming for Leviathan versus Loud.
Mazzino's movement there was sick. Just the way he used Flashpoint there and then just check the corner, instant identify of where the last member of Loud was on the attack side. The fault lines within the site, just great movement around the utility to maximize how it worked. And Calm, it's only been a few rounds Calm's had that Odin and Tree, right? So Loud feel comfortable to go back to that side. They weren't affected by it last time. Well, there you go. Calm literally just trips 2 people up with the Odin, and that was basically the round.
Definitely looked too that Tex potentially had that camera on the A side because there was one player pinged down trying to run away here as Calm gets the Odin spray. One thing to commend here on Calm's utility from last week into this week continues to be a pivotal initiator player for Leviathan's success.
Stuff.
And now giving a chance for Leviathan to close up the first map against Loud. On Loud's map pick, a change coming out on their end, trying to pull out all stops, trying to stay alive here for a chance to still reach playoffs on their end, on the side of the Brazilian team.
You can see what Loud put into this too, how much LEV has had to kind of struggle to get their form on for this game, and now Aspas pushes again to get the form here at Mount.
And counter paranoia coming out too on the attack side on the B, thankfully from Pencada, to at least keep the players of Loud alive here. In the back of the C, it looks like they were about to get swarmed.
This is the iconic re-hit would be around for Loud here. Just wait out the clock, get this utility back up. I mean, fault line's already ready, so they could go for something tricky to start.
And that first wave, that trap play attempted by Leviathan, doesn't give them enough utility here to try to hold back the attack on the C side. At least the weapons will. King answering first onto Tui's attempt to enter the site.
30 seconds left.
The pivot goes back for Loud. Trip onto one, TP across. Hat coming through to get some information as Sadak tries to get this plant down. Tex trying to look for a play. Cage comes up. Calm just waiting here with the Odin. Aspas feeling that it was 2 players pushing out towards the spawn against them. And they're still delaying all of these plans. Finally, it's committed.
10
Les
seconds
is able to get a sneak through, but Osprey still able to get 2 kills first. And that will nullify all of that lurk coming through from Les. Flashed by King, dropped by King, and Leviathan will get the defuse and the win of map 1.
What a first map of this series.
Yeah, for
Just
Osprey,
the same.
it's what's in front of him.
It's the whole playground. All right, we'll see where they start. Quite a bit towards B for Leviathan here. An interesting start. They're going to go ahead and just get the Cascade game going over towards A with some of these walls. And that turret will watch mid, as we would expect. So Loud to start off this one. Would love to have a bit of momentum on this game. Losing their map of Lotus was not on the cards. Ooh. And already a headshot to count seen through a wall.
And he started off at a spot where he loves to play in his pistol rounds, but this time with the Sheriff, yes, does a lot of damage onto Kawadzine. But Loud are all grouped up together. A 5-player attempt of a hit towards this B site. Dash still available for Ospas. There's that recon to come down. The flash to get yellow control, but he's getting walled through it. And that's first blood now for Loud. An opportunity to move inside this B site. But remember, they don't have a Gecko to play now for Loud. They have to commit inside this site. But the rest of Leviathan were waiting just there behind the B site. Text from the top gets that pick, and Les is now alone in a 1 versus 2. Who better than Les now in a clutch situation that can turn it back around for Loud? As he picks up the spike, he's looking to fall back.
All right. 65 on that.
30 seconds left.
Pretty healthy on the side of Tex here. He's been hitting all these shots as they'll play together. 20 seconds. There's going to have to be some running soon here from Les. But he chooses right. I think he knows he'll have the site at least for this moment. So I think the idea is you try to push forward, right? But I don't think he'll have time.
Tries to go safe. There's a nanoswarm there. Boom, hits him. Down to 6.
Whoopsies, that timing. What is that timing?
At least he recalled the turret here and is able to get a little bit of information to play on both angles of this A site.
Targets destroyed.
There's a frenzy herd. Now the high tide across, and that blocks the vision. Bold players of Leviathan walking behind the site, and Les potentially was looking to wrap around, but he's trying to play it safe instead.
Yeah, Tex with that timing on it too. Start getting the taps on the spike and pull Les out.
While Mazzino still has the cove, very much difficult to get in. That's a full defuse.
He didn't even stop. Oh man, Lev just walking in there. I think he was glued to the spike, honestly, as Mazzino does go down in the end. But they get that one nicely done by Lev. The control on the site, and I'd say, obviously, honestly, the Harbor Omen composition towards B first on pistols is extremely tough, especially with that wall that crosses the site towards the right side. Hopping in and out for, as you saw, King there or anybody else on defense becomes quite easy without the follow-up utility that just really isn't there for the pistol round that they would have had. So Lev grab round number 1. Still orb focus here, going straight towards mid maze.
Ooh, nice cascade here, not giving a chance for Ospas to get a pick. And Sadak just surprises him by going towards the left side, and looks like Ospas wasn't ready for it. Wall comes down, and there's going to be 2 players looking to... Oh! Looks like Cum almost got caught with utility. He still will get caught. Kawadzine gets that pick. Still an advantage for Loud. They split it over to the A side. Not an opportunity to plant yet. And now that time actually has turned around to give a chance for Leviathan to move inside the A side, but it continues to be back and forth trades.
Last player standing.
Lower weapons for Loud, and they're still answering with Sheriff. Now the jump spot spotted. King. No second swing out from Pencata with the Sheriff. He has enough fuel for this wall to come up. Now starts the tap on that spike. Off the rappel. Cannot let the shots are off the players, and then Pencata looks like he ran out of bullets. Thankfully, it was the Sheriff with 6 bullets in the chamber that saves King from what could have been a dreadful 1v1.
I did not know the first 2 rounds were tickets to the comedy show. The way these ones ended are just ridiculous. The full whole defuse on the last one, and just a slow broke Tarzan play coming in on the last, or second round rather. All right. Yeah. Thank you for both POVs on that, observers. Thank you very much. Oh my, yeah, Com's arms just in the air. Like, what is happening on my screen? Okay.
Take the rounds.
Yeah. So might get a little bit of a push from Leviathan on B here. Early Harbor Wall to shut things down and give positioning so they can get Aspas online with this Outlaw again.
The knife forces Aspas to shoot both shots of the Outlaw. They were trying to deny this orb here at the long B side, especially with the high tide that was thrown through. At least they got control of the A orb for Leviathan.
You can see a lot of damage done to LEV over these rounds still, so you get the Sheriff by. Loud will know that. Still is dangerous with the shots these guys have been hitting, especially on from Lotus. The mid lurk here could be big from Penkata if they just take their time to get into sight. That's a good enough time.
That's the second time as well that Aspas thought that he was going to land some sort of shot, and it just one misstep gets punished for it right away. And all they have left now for Leviathan are Sheriffs. But if they could do some damage just like Loud did, this could become very expensive for Loud as they plant down towards the B site.
Big pickup by Tex. It's going to be a weapon at the backside of mid here if the rest of the team just holds on, but Com's blind and cannot stay alive.
And neither can King, but at least Mazzino's there.
2v2.
Another 2 versus 2. Reckoning available, but not sure if they want to use it yet. Still waiting for Tex to rotate over as he upgraded into a Vandal. Now he's left alone. Mazzino at least gets the information of where one of those players were and knows that Kawazin's towards the spawn. But he's still thinking that as Kawazin made it across towards the back site, wraps around Orange, and allows here Loud to get their gun round. 2-1 now as we have Leviathan still in the lead.
Nice damage from Lev. They'll be happy with how much they took away from Loud there, but Loud very happy to get us strike in the win column there. Ooh. That's wild. The stuff Texas is putting up. But Loud's going to be able to hold on Kawanzin with a 3K on that one. We start getting very close to Hunter's Fury. Actually, a lot is on deck here in the ultimate realm for almost both teams. There's another push up from Lev here, this time without utility. So they're doing a little quiet. Loud has not been ready to fight it once yet. Oh my.
Lev has
Down.
Yeah.
That's a high-low 2 kill and spike down information given. And meanwhile, once again, Orb denied on the A side as Calm pushed forward to bring his Hunter's Fury up as soon as possible. But Loud now spread across the map, just trying to win individual fights or maybe even potentially just group up and save at this point.
And you got to think of the implications of what Lev is doing at B, right? If Loud even want that space anymore, it's going to cost them util. They can no longer walk into that. They're going to have to use early util, which won't allow them to clear yellow as much if they don't have a bolt or the drone, whatever they use. And it's just, Lev is getting in Loud's face so much to cause problems here. We'll just have to see how much it matters, because Lev can figure out a way around this with the brain of Sadak. Alert towards mid and still this B re-hit to come into play, but they're staring down 5 barrels of Lev.
Yeah, as you're mentioning here, the calls from Sadak over at Loud, and they are trying to commit here on some sort of B control. But they do know that there's probably players watching every single angle. Not an opportunity for Les to be the first one to activate. Nice reckoning too. That gets information on 2 players, and they'll identify this late lurk, but Les still is able to commit and win that fight against Calm. Meanwhile, though, at least both players just stuck at yellow, and with no time left, that wall comes up just to help Penkata escape if he can. The tap onto the spike as well, committed to run through. Questionable plays across, and that's the round for Leviathan.
A great hold. Honestly, this slowdown at B has just shut Lev down so much, and with the fact that Loud committed so much to B, they didn't know what the A game was at Pipes, which has been pushed almost every round by Lev for the alt orb. So they had to consider somebody who was very far up there too, and just Aspas and King able to work this position. I mean, it was Aspas and Calm or Tex a few rounds ago, or Mazzino. They've been switching up what that combination is, and it's just been working. And now switched up so much, they go away from it. Aspas will be pushing down mid with the help of Calm's utility. So what can Loud do? How do they get back into this? It's going to be a low buy, but we still saw these low buys go in their favor on Lotus.
Also have a Vandal around that. That's in the hands of Penkata. The Al drone to push Tex away, and that is the pit coming out from King towards his A site.
Big plant.
Big plant to waste out util. Kawadzin down to half HP as the Cove finally comes up to commit to the plant. King just trying to get the spray. Shock darts!
Oh, Calm!
Coming out from Calm. And that's now spiked down.
It's just an answer to everything right now for Leviathan.
Right here.
And Loud. They have to go to no man's land to get this.
Bucky now upgrade, but answered by a shorty. Advantage still looms here for Leviathan. Outlaw knowing it's a lower buy. The cape out of the bottom.
Carrying spike.
And 2E's is now left alone. A plant is the best thing you can get right now for 2E's as he's getting hunted down. The confidence out of Aspas. Almost he wanted to upgrade the Outlaw to the Bucky there, but finally upgrades to the Vandal instead. But here comes an opportunity here for Loud to turn it around. A gun round in their favor, as well as 5 ults.
This is such a nasty ultimate from King. On the rafters? Oh, that's so cool. Easy entry for the team. They don't have to worry about being covered. You can go out either side of the smoke, but also look below. Really cheeky stuff there. 5 ults ready here for Loud. It's got to be around, right? Got to be around, right?
They're reading this for Leviathan.
Let's see.
And that's the reckoning. That's going to get information that our players that were trying to get an aggressive angle towards the nest. Counter Hunter's Fury out, but the rounds and the kills in favor of Loud. And the last boss!
Spike down A.
Get her there, dropping 3, and that's the spike once again.
Always where you least expect him. Pushed up in the middle of the war zone.
Kawadzine's able to lurk up though.
Player
Lockdown available, not yet needed for less. They'll engage her right away. Tex trying to push forward. He knows here that the players are just around the corner. He could break it, but this was forced to swing. There is that break of the lockdown, and here is both sets of footsteps. Gives him a chance to reset. 12 bullets in the chamber. Looking back on the first swing, the crouch under as Kawadzine is able to save that round.
They recoup, losing 3 at pipes from Aspas. Loud still able to figure a way around that round. And honestly, it looked like it was going to go the way of the previous round, where it just was like the spike was in no man's land. There's no answer. Leviathan read the play too well. But no, Loud still has that option to slow it down, rethink the situation, and get a different idea going. Really nicely done there to slow it down.
Kind of funny off that replay that Penkata realizing he's caught with the defense. The only thing he could do as the last man standing against Aspas was Hadouken that paranoia. But that was the Hadouken and allowed Kawadzine to start entering in and opening things up for Loud to save that round against Leviathan, who in this round still has another healthy buy. This time, no more outlaws for Aspas. It's an operator out, and they were looking for this A-side control to start where Loud seems to be finding success finally.
Exactly. Lev was mid, B, mid, and then A this round. And they flex back to mid as Loud still likes A. The idea that they can protect it from the back, the mollies, the utility they have, and being able to get in with the KO null command on this round, because they have all the space they need, but they're going to have to work with the lockdown coming in from Lev in just a second.
And all of them looking to flood back from the back of the spawn are Leviathan. The code thrown out first, all this to protect the lockdown to start things off and push Loud away here at pipes. On the other end, you can definitely see less getting positioned for a really late lurk.
Little lurky turkey.
So these players have to stay alive, but it's not working out for now. 2E's is the first to fall, and 3 players left alive by L, by Pipes, are just trying to delay here to give this opportunity for Les to get through, but the turret's gonna spot him no matter what. So Aspas on top of the screens, easy pick. Now the turret drops down, but he is able to get the pick onto Aspas as he falls.
Diffuse.
But you definitely do see the rest of the players of Loud just falling one by one like dominoes, and that defuse will definitely come through. And Leviathan giving no chance for Loud to string some rounds in.
Oh my gosh. Mazzino having all of his utility there, Loud was forced to start peeking and getting in a position that was just not an advantage, or was a disadvantage, I should say. He had a cascade that was just flowing, goes all the way out towards Belt, and then you just see that high tide come up and close off the rest. Look at the walls. Look at, they only have so many angles to look at now. You going as Loud, you have to peek out. You have to show yourself there, because you don't know where you can protect or trade with your teammate. It causes so much chaos. Levs do a little bit, as much as you'll get from the dart in the Vandal.
And the high tide that they could throw through.
True. Yeah, the protection there is good.
And B.
Yeah, Mazzino just set up towards mid, so they have a lot of protection for this operator walkdown. All right, Aspas, show us what you got.
Really drone too, so no recon. So the drone was to set up 2 players to fight through the smoke if they spotted more players here from Loud, but nobody through. So now Ospas can be anchored and cut the rotates, and that's exactly where Loud are going after picking up this orb.
And look at this, Kalanzine, dart, and drone down. This B area, just so they can know it's not a push again from Lev. It's not going to be something crazy, but it already is map control in mid from Ospas.
Holding a tight angle, that's spiked down once again, and no utility here to give a chance for a double initiator util to get some scans towards this A site, giving a chance now for Tex to be out in the open, to convert onto a kill onto Kalanzine.
I feel like they're just reading what Loud wants to do here. Right? Even in the positioning, jump up on pipes. Simple shots here for Lev. All right, spikes planted. That high tide goes down. Getting ready now for the retake. All 5 members here as we watch Com get ready with the dart.
Definitely some saving grace now for Loud as they get the plant down. That's 300 credits across the board for the next round. On top of the bonus that we get from losing, unless... Yeah. Yep.
1, 2, 3. As they found one of them, they found all of them, honestly. That's going to be a 6-2 here for Leviathan, and this is Lev's map. Last one was, Lotus was Loud's map, and we kind of saw how Loud felt comfortable on it here. It just looks like they cannot get a footing against Leviathan on this. Ospas is starting to get, heated up. He's going almost red hot already.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're supporting him so much to get in these positions means they're comfortable probably to do more. And Loud hasn't even seen most of that yet, I don't think so. Here's Sadak on your screen. We'll see what he can come up with here for the next round. As we get into round 9, that Blade Storm still available. Well, Reckoning is on board here, just on deck rather, for Loud. They might be able to use that.
And that timeout is to try to see if they could take down here Leviathan on a B control attempt. And that's a high tide to start that goes across the board. Not too sure here if they're going to be able to spot Mazzino that's hiding in that cubby. Even stays outside of the radius of the KO knife. But it looks like they don't want that smoke here for Loud. They're falling back for the A side control where Les was able to move up here towards L.
Good positioning so far. Maybe even gets a little bit of audio check. You can tell the team what he's hearing as they are getting prepared here. Loud's moving quite quick for the info they have. They're looking to get it on the fly and just hit the protocol they have ready.
As soon as the high tide comes up, that's both nanoswarms just trying to run that timer down of the high tide to give a chance for Leviathan to potentially get a surprise attack. But Kalanzine, off the support of that Reckoning of Tuis, is able to get that first pick onto Tex, who falls. Con now dropping inside, that's definitely going to get hurt, and Pankata is the one that's lurking around it because Tex died. That's no turret. He's able to get that lurk if he wants to, but Kalanzine, once again, anchoring towards this A site. There's that lurk finally from Pankata. The Blade Storm though from Ospas, now left on a 1 versus 2, trying to clutch this against the whole remaining roster of Loud. Tap once again. Pre-fired shots off the dagger, but it's definitely looking like it's going to be a round out for Loud. He did spot the legs, the cape of Tuis of both Les. But you definitely see it right now. Round converted for Loud on the attack.
Loud slightly identifying there the retakes from Lev. Very heavily focused coming from the rafter area. And if Loud can get forward in the site, I think the first few rounds we saw from Loud, they would try to get somebody up and nest and plant, but everybody else was waiting for the planter to get out. They're like, okay, you did it, come on, get out now. It's like planting at B on Haven. This time they're in the site, they're forward, they're pushing in, and they're not allowing Lev the first steps back into the site. And that little change does help. We're still getting this B start from Loud though. They're quickly dart, drone, or just drone, just to make sure garage is clear to the other side. They actually do not like how B has been ending out here if they're not getting this first initial kill.
Nowhere to run!
Onto Fury on the attack. Ooh, it actually does hit King. And because of that, no opportunity for Ospas to break the knife, so now he's hit by the KO knife. No dash to fall back. Remember last time he was trying to fall back, he actually got spammed, but there's a gap now for him to hold that angle, despite King dying first. Push back from Leviathan towards the middle. No lurk activated for Loud. Just spraying across the high tide. It goes back and forth.
Oh my god. Surprised to see all the Vandal gamers with this much spamming Vans. Crazy stuff here. High tide finally goes down. And we get these angles back for Ospas. But man, Loud has been hitting the shots here to open up the site.
And there's still utility available now for Loud. Maybe they wait for the high tide so they could double smoke here and try to hit this so far.
Cove in for plant. Could be a possibility. This knife can tell them where a few are if they can get a good shot on it, but I don't think you got to line up from that spot.
Just a waiting game. There's now the high tide. Both of them being prepped up here to throw that utility, and a knife will come in as well.
Oh, we did. A little bit of a
30
lineup.
seconds left.
Lands now on the top of B. Does activate and find information on the two players, but Tex is still able to get that pick from the back of the side onto Penkata. A 10th of a plant. You mentioned that cove. The pop flash across, but Tex is still ready for a 4K in the round.
Gosh. Disgusting. Lockdowns there as well now for Tex. Ospa still with the operator as they continue to protect that. It's kind of at all cost here, right? King's just like running around. Ospa's like, sorry, man, I can't do anything for you in this situation. And this push mid to regain control of the map. Now, more than once, that mid control has paid off heavily for Leviathan. We saw Ospas get pushed up there and then a double team coming in from Leviathan. They're working the map so well right now, just shoveling Loud into whatever position Lev wants them to be in. Let's see what they have here. We talked about that lockdown, but Reckoning is also available here for Leviathan to make it that much harder.
I just love this new meta of Kawadzin with this bookie. Getting so much value, and the two times that he's wielded out of the three. And Kawadzin, of course, the range will now help against Ospas for the classic will. Now he moves in, lockdown activated on the defense. Penkata on the top of pipes, a jump spot from Mazino. Now they know, at least for Leviathan, there's going to be a late lurk once again. Reckoning forced out on top of the lockdown, pushing everybody back towards A main. And here's the important fight. Because of that jump spot, though, at least Mazino has fallen towards the A site. This gives a chance now for King to get that kill under pipes.
You never heard him fall. It was right there after the shots. Tex hits another one to clear this, and Loud has to rethink the round once again. Just under a minute left. Initiator utilities there. It's exactly what you want to get into a site, and to go B, they could be able to cove this.
Got that headshot from Kawadzin. But it was jiggling across, and I think they found that timing for Loud to at least make it across and get this plant down. Tui's has the operator. Sadak was the first one to pick it up, and he's going to leave it behind for Tui's as he goes for the plant. He gets denied by a beautiful snake bite thrown by King. 26 HP left now for the IGL of Loud. Plant finally comes down, sprayed down to 10. And there's the information on both. Wallbang on the first, Tui's left behind, pinged by the L drone earlier on a retake from Calm, and he's gonna have to hold this with a knock. Misses the first shot, a rare miss coming out from Tui's, and now Calm can commit for the full defuse. And maybe Tui's just trying to stay alive here with the operator. Jumps up, greedy by Tex, and that's Leviathan with 8 rounds of Icebox.
Man, this is almost comical what Lev is doing here. Loud, it looks like they have the right play. Plant's going down. Wait, Viper's bite out of nowhere. Here's a molly, and then they get the plant down, and you saw Sadak just kind of stay. He's like, okay, yeah, you got me. He almost didn't even move. He just smiled at the drone and knew he was going to go down. They're just being put in these unwinnable positions that Leviathan is creating. And they're doing it almost every round. They've only given 3 now, or let 3, I should say, go, as they look to grab maybe even a 9th here, feeling confident, feeling the momentum on the first half. 15-5 from Tex. Top fragging with Calm last game, still feeling good in the second game of the series here. Almost a push in.
Coming out, though, as Sadak is able to get that first blood for King. Penkata, you saw the TP towards the back. Quick ADS right in the dome of Tex. 2-player advantage now for Loud. Spike comes down and it gets planted towards B. Mazino trying to stay alive, and that's a swing from Sadak on the top of the ropes. Ospas going for the dash after getting the pick onto Penkata, and he's left alone one more time, 1 versus 3, but this time has to commit. Last round now of the half. Pop Flash forces him to throw out a cloud burst, so that gives his position away. And Les is just ready. Great spots for Loud on the pulse plant. Ospas, first contact on the top of the bridge. Tries to swing against Kawadzin, but Loud able to salvage the last round.
8-4, and that 4 is actually a big one for Loud. They go towards B with a heavy first round focus, first half focus towards A. But they do find that B worked for them in the end once they start clearing the garage area and getting that initial push on B long away from Leviathan. Still, great half by Lev.
Exactly, a great half by Lev, great reads that continues, and they're able to close potentially this series, and that will definitely be coming out here from great reads of King, but it'll happen. The ideas that they have now behind this roster definitely has what it takes against this adversity to potentially bring this to cross the line to a 3rd map. But Leviathan have other things to say with how the reads have been since This second map here of Icebox, it's looking to be potentially a clean 2-0 for Leviathan towards the end, as now on the attack side, Leviathan looking for this early B control, and there's walls on walls just to keep these players isolated on yellow.
Yeah, double wall. I like that call from them. As Loud is saying very confident in who they have at which site, though, knowing this is going to be full well a retake round, I think. A push already happening from LEV here, and they've avoided the util, but not less.
And by taking down less, they'll avoid the util at least.
Now they will.
Looks like Loud wants to fight very quickly. Early util being thrown out denies the plant to come down, at least to start. Now all of the players grouped up at the staircase behind the spawn for Loud. Ospa still looking to connect some shots of the Sheriff, just wasting time for another player to try to lurk around. Players are watching it passively. Looks like they're ready for it though.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just a family photo of Loud there on the steps. Now we'll see if LEV
30 seconds left.
waiting to move that spike back over as Aspas just holds to now put the same lurk King just had. Or less, rather, just had on the map.
Oh, it's definitely King here that got picked off, and he'll call that plant towards that B side, and Aspas, who's trying to get that lurk, is ready. And greeted by Tui's. Meanwhile, though, the fights are going down towards the B site. Somebody could just stick onto it for now. Actually, it's just a tap for Sadak. So all the noise will be heard by Calm.
Last player standing.
He now stands alone on a 1 versus 2, but could just fight that against Sadak. Now he's left alone, but he wasted enough time, forcing out Tuis to make so much noise. Sheriff's in his hand. Tap on that spike.
Oh, he's looking right.
Tuis. I mean, he gets the kill, but does he not have enough time?
Oh!
There's already been so much time wasted there. Pistol round for Leviathan.
Nicely done. The big frags inside sight after that plant to just slow it down ever so slightly. Calm there, being able to play the flash trickery game up in Nest. And honestly, this was one of the lurkiest pistol rounds I think we've seen. We had a lurk and then a lurk, a re-lurk. Yeah, that got pretty lurky. All right, a clutch there. Nicely done. Let's see who's on top of the scoreboard here as we get into our second round. Those 11 fans are ready to see that result. Loud need to lock in here and get themselves some more rounds. A fast push forward. And it looks like already pipes control here for Leviathan. Oh my gosh.
The timing on that one too. Les was looking at the window of the A nest all along, and as he turns away, it's Aspas that spots him and gets the kill through the cascade. Advantage for Leviathan. An attempt to swing again.
One down.
And that's Sadak alone.
Plant the spike.
No double swing on a 3-2-1, and definitely knows that Kawazin's there too.
And Lev ready for the lurk. They have somebody all the way at the backside of spawn as Aspas is doing work in sight. I think that's one of the biggest things we have to re-recognize or, again, look at for Lev is how much Aspas is given this space with utility, how much he's getting from the team to be facilitated to get these kills and move forward in safe positions. It's incredible.
And how good he is just at shooting heads.
Exactly. You have to be the one to shoot once you get up there if you get all that util, and man, does he produce results.
You can hear it. The crowd just wants another iBuyPower PC. But Loud, looks like they're just looking to die to Spike, and that's going to be no ace as Tex picks up that kill towards the back. Consolation at least, or 4K for Aspas.
Yeah, even a dart there at the end too, right? It's never almost just Aspas. There's something else there along with it. He's the one who gets to have his cake and eat it too.
Need a drop.
It's crazy. 20-9 for Aspas right now. Again, Tex still having an amazing series there as they just continue to be some Bash Brothers at the top of the list. And I think we saw from them at Shanghai as well, just how well they continue, or how well Aspas and Tex played A site in anchoring. Rather. All right, they go towards B.
I mean, the knife got a lot of info. That's 3 players now pinged out. And Lau will know both the potential lurks from Leviathan are towards middle and A site. But the early knife that comes out, knowing that it's a bonus round from Leviathan, they might want to commit into this with the lower weapons to just fight back towards yellow. And that's where Loud is choosing to attempt their first stand. 3 players grouped up in that area. Lev's just working that map. Looks like that shot missed here from Tex. No Marshall. Shots coming through as Aspas dies towards that B site. We're just trying to stay quiet across, and there you go. Any type of alert that you're trying to do here from Leviathan on both extremities, both got denied. Last 3 players committed to fight towards this A site where, again, you have better weaponry for Loud.
We just saw the 0 point as well, used over here by the side of Loud, so they're just trying to clear space and get an idea.
As I say better weaponry for Loud, there's still some good rifles in the hands of Leviathan. Mazzino finding the timing behind. Unfortunately, his teammate falls, so he's going to have to go in a clutch. There's that first pick, but Sadat swings out to get the trade. Loud's able to convert here their gun round.
That's slow. Still touch and go, right? Lev's taking a round right now, and Lev just tear that round away from Loud. Loud get around, and it feels like they're tempered in the things that they're doing.
30 seconds.
I'm not too confident that that's going to be the right play. Here, good hold on A. Good call around this one, though. Pancata getting 3. We see a little bit of life from that defensive side here from Loud on that bonus. So let's see if they can keep it going. Still going to be the purchase here for Lev. Reckoning is up. And Loud are actually going to stack towards A. We'll keep an eye on that for the rest of the rounds to see if they actually change this towards B. They're pretty in sight and not able to trade each other right now, though. Just looking at Loud spots. Oh, that was close. It's interesting. I kind of wanted Lev to hit it to see what Loud's defense there was. They seem very, very confident in playing forward in the site, which is unusual. We see a lot of Loud retake.
Paw Flash always ready here from Sadak.
That's true.
By screens on that aggression that could come out now from Leviathan. And now the Owl drone does spot the Viper, but not too sure if it actually did see Mazzino in that corner tucked up. But Leviathan still doesn't want to continue to try to sell some sort of fake here towards this B site. They're working and grouping together towards Garage, where Tui's is pretty much at a one and done.
Yeah.
Com still has Owl drone. Jiggles out. Cannot have the Owl drone anymore. But you're definitely seeing Leviathan looking to trade it instantly back towards
30 seconds left.
the B site to avenge his teammate. Avenge their teammate, rather, as the Reckoning now puts Tui's just jumping around towards the site. Forced to give that away. Plant will now come down from Mazzino under the cove.
Oh. Very chipped down for Lev here. It's going to be tough if they try to play this one out in the open and Loud. Like we said, the retakes are where they come in strong.
Always good on those retakes. And that's where it doesn't matter if they don't have a duelist. They could always work in 10 and as a group to fight back now against the Pulse Plant. Leviathan, only 3 players make that 2, and one of them heavily wounded is Mazzino. There's that wide swing first before they actually break the dome. And now it's halfway. It disappears. Tex gets a second kill. Tried to swing on that third one, but there was going to be time. At least the trade came through, and Loud manages to survive in that round.
4 away from tying this one up. Loud are going to grab a bit of that momentum now. Feel good with the ultimates that they have. Pancata is actually, I love the way they're using the Omen ultimate. It's almost just with the team to initiate into the site. If you see Sadak or whoever, Tui's in the site, get yourself in there with Pancata. You have another person. You've kind of covered the map with that from the Shadows ultimate. So we'll see if they can get it out here and do it once again. Don't see any operators coming out on the map just yet. It seems like Loud wants to keep it to rifles so they can keep the retakes fast, and Aspas being even faster with the knives.
And initiating that one with the Blade Storm on the first blood. Weapon upgraded as well. Dash across, just trying to catch another one. No avail. Players now forced back from Loud just to play the retake. There's Elise Coetzine still trying to anchor under the heavens, and there's the backstab attempt, misses the daggers, and Coetzine still completes the kill. King with the rest of his teammates pushing forward, fighting back against Loud. A 3 versus 2, wounded as Sadak. Fallen has Sadak gone, and Mazzino picks up the last kill, and they answered very quickly off the back of Aspas' entry.
That was crazy. The retake speed from Loud, the reaction from Leviathan, all of that was a bit of mayhem, and it started off with Aspas drawing a beautiful picture of Coetzine in the corner with Blade Storm. And some shots here. Oh my word. just the back and forth. I mean, look how fast LEV is trying to put themselves in the back of the site. Just get in Loud's face so they can't get themselves in the site that easily. It looks like they might do it again right towards A. Almost everybody on that belt side to start off here.
Especially with the economy that Loud currently has. They understand here that they could add that pressure. But with the Guardians ringing across the side on the defensive side, shot by Sadak. Leviathan now knows that this is a force buy coming through. Al drone, no punishment, but at least they get the punish on the Kawatzin. Both players falling back, another ping coming through. And that's King trying to find the opener. Two players swinging out from the back of the dice. And that drops Sadak. Caught in the null command. At least he'll be a Cypher camera temporarily to see how many players are working towards the back of the site. We'll only identify Calm for now. Under the rafters. Cascade blocking vision to give an opportunity for Loud to catch players off the rotate, trying to fall back here as the spikes planted for Leviathan, and you can definitely see it here. Chances are not for the side of Loud. Only a share for Tui's. Vandal for less, trying to do some damage, and they lose that rifle in the process. And Leviathan are looking well positioned. Now positioned at map and series point.
Yeah, never letting up, Vans. Even if they had a blip in a round, they pulled it right back, and they have just put the pressure on Loud constantly in these rounds. Loud's gonna go ahead and call a timeout here as we get back into this replay. So they'll be discussing what they can do next, but just continuously pushing through. And we kind of got to see what it looked like. That was a lower buy, but what Loud's trying to do.
See here, worse for wear are Loud. Only 2 Vandals. Trying to fight back with aggression on the B side while the rest of Leviathan, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Work that A side again.
Keep it going.
Take flight.
I think even if it does have a chip in it, you just super glue it and say it still works. It looks good, fans. It looks good. They're looking to make it 8-1 on the VCT Americas record here with this round. If they can get by the lower by Loud here.
And 3 players scores Loud on B just to try to once again the Hail Mary. Hunter's Fury in the hands of Kawatzin. And that may be able to fight back against the lockdown available for Leviathan on the post plant. High Tide coming out on the retake. There's that lockdown. There's a double Hunter's Fury that's about to come out. One to break the lockdown on the defensive side. It gets broken. And the one on the attack trying to get some kills, but it works out in the favor of Loud. Trying to stay alive in this game, that'll be able to do so. Lockdown available on the defensive side, but it's a 4-on-2 in favor of Loud. Aspas still holding his ground at the generator. 2 more kills needed. Dashes away as the spike is still ticking. Off towards the A site. Smokes dissipate. There's that third one. 1 more kill to go. As Les runs out of bullets. Alphas with the 4K. And Leviathan wins and clutches top 2 seed in the